Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Pluto in conjunct Midheaven in the natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have Pluto in conjunct the midheaven and the natal chart, an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between activities associated with what you have a passion and desire for, which is Pluto, and career-related matters, which is the midheaven. One or the other may be overemphasized. The key is to find the balance and the equilibrium between the two. Now, it could be where, at times matters, activities associated with what you have a strong passion and desire for may monopolize your time and energy to the expense and exclusion of career-related matters. Or it could be the other way around, where career-related matters, may monopolize your time and energy, to the expense and exclusion of those things you have the strong passion and desire for. So it's about, finding, the balance, the harmony, the equilibrium with the energy, because you could have a lot of, vacillation, fluctuation, and distortion with inconjunct aspects in astrology. It could be very extreme. If you have, say like me, if you have Pluto and Virgo in the 5th house as an example, those things you have this strong passion and desire for could be some kind of analytical or intellectual amusement and enjoyment. Could be extrapolating sports data. Might be doing things, that with cleaning, organization, compartmentalizing that you truly enjoy. Pluto in Libra in the 7th house, those things that you have a strong passion and desire for may be, simply, balanced, for balanced competition, or, competition that involves something with balance, like, say, tennis or gymnastics in competition as some examples. Also, too, Pluto in conjunct the midheaven in a natal chart can also indicate an imbalance, which is the inconjunct, between activities associated with intimate connections and those you're in shared resources situations, and the dominant parent, which is often the midheaven. Intimate connections and shared resources situations connected with Pluto. Again, the dominant parent is the midheaven. So you may be dominated by one or the other. It could be where matters with intimate connections and people that are you're in shared resources situations with may dominate and monopolize your time and energy to the expense and exclusion of the dominant parent, or it could be the other way around, where activities with the dominant parent may monopolize your time and energy to the expense and exclusion of those activities with intimate connections and those you're in shared resources situations with. So, again, it's about finding the balance, the harmony, and the equilibrium with this energy. Now, let's say if you're in the midheaven, say is in Aries as an example, the dominant parent may be someone that's aggressive, assertive, forceful, combative, courageous, fearless, ardent, and maybe somebody too that's pioneering, or it could be it could also be somebody that's very impulsive, impetuous, and impatient as well. Now, also too, there could be either very too much or too little passion and emotional intensity, which is Pluto, in career-related matters, which is the midheaven. So there may be, at times where you have an exorbitant amount of passion and emotional intensity, for, career-related matters, or it could be other times where you're just very apathetic or I don't know if the word is stolid or just, lack any kind of emotional energy in, in career-related matters and ambitions. So it's a lot, it could be one or the other. So again, it's about finding the balance and the harmony with the energy. Now, if the midheaven is in, say Taurus as an example, career-related matters may be gone about in a rather, methodical, deliberate, and plotting manner. It could be doing something Taurus-related, whether it could be something in geology, carpet laying, architecture, agriculture, gardening, cultivation, farming, banking, finance, art, or music, as some examples. Now, also, too, you may either be overly fixated and obsessed, which is Pluto, or apathetic in terms of attaining notoriety and recognition, which is the midheaven. So there can be times when you might be obsessed with trying to get, some kind of accolades or notoriety, attention, recognition, for whatever it is, or there may be times where you're just not even thinking about this at all, and you're just more apathetic in those matters, and there's not a care in the world regarding attaining those things. Now, let's say if the midheaven is in Gemini, as an example, you may attain notoriety and recognition through versatility, doing manifold things. It could be something associated with communication, whether it's data or satellite communications, reporting, journalism, writing, or it could be something connected with manual dexterity, which can include, auto or refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. But also, too, this aspect can suggest that Pluto-related people may either be very beneficial or no help whatsoever in the success, which is the midheaven, that you may attain. So there can be times when I say Pluto-related people, that can cover a number of persons, whether it's those in intimate connections, shared resources, situations, those that give you some kind of support. It could be people that are in Plutonian professions, whether it's the occult, which includes astrology, or those that are involved in insurance, recycling, embalming, loans, as some examples. And those people can be either very advantageous and beneficial in helping you attain the success in whatever it is you're doing in order to get it, or there may be other times where they're oblivious to you in those matters, or they just may simply be away. Doesn't mean they're necessarily detrimental in those matters, but they just may simply not be around to help you out in doing these, in trying to attain success. Now, let's say, if the midheaven is in Aquarius, as an example, the success you may attain maybe through some altruistic or humanitarian endeavors. It may be doing something connected with astrology or astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, meteorology, or aviation, as some examples. Now, also, too, Pluto-related people may either be extremely compatible with, or they may be very averse to the qualities that you have that are difficult to suppress, which is the midheaven. Now, if the midheaven is in, there may be times where we're very much in agreement with those, qualities that are difficult to suppress, and other times maybe they're really adversarial to them. So let's say, the midheaven is in the zodiac sign Cancer. It could be those qualities that are difficult to suppress, maybe ones that are very caring, nurturing, sympathetic, protective, tenacious, dedicated, and devoted, but may also be, there may be qualities, they're very, clingy, brooding, emotional, moody, temperamental qualities as well. Also, to reviving or transforming, which is Pluto, your livelihood or business, which is the midheaven, may be done either with tremendous ease or difficulty. Now, because again, you have a lot of vacillation and distortion of energy with inconjunct aspects. Now, let's say, for example, the midheaven, is in Leo. There may be, some livelihood or business connected with entertainment. It could be performing, acting, and maybe something with game, production or design, something connected with sports, the military, as some examples. And also, too, if you have been involved in a crime, which is Pluto, it may have could either have a very adverse effect on your public image and reputation, which is the midheaven, or it may not have one at all. Again, you have a lot of fluctuation with this energy. Inconjuncts can be very extreme. So, if your midheaven is in Virgo, as an example, the public image and reputation, maybe one that's very, analytical, scrupulous, punctilious with details, proper, organized, and, clean and orderly, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.